She really never saw me as her man. As my wife, she went 4 or 5 years without letting me touch her once. I never truly had a proper marital relationship with her, yet she had the audacity to say I should share. She doesn't want to sleep with me, I am her husband. The only thing she cares about is money. I provide for her. Now she wants to take my house and car, because he is always filthy, never bathes, never brushes his teeth, never washes his feet. He gets into bed and starts touching me. Of course I would refuse. In China these days, a lot of men feel like relationships have turned into a business deal instead of something based on love or real connection. Many Chinese women, especially in the bigger cities, have extremely high expectations when it comes to men. It's not just about finding someone they like. It's about whether he has the right financial background, owns property, drives a good car, has savings, and can keep giving more and more money even after marriage. For a lot of men, this has become exhausting. They feel like no matter how much they work or how much they provide, it's never enough. A woman who is addicted to lying and cheating has no sense of character or morality. She does things against her conscience, without the slightest unease, and feels no guilt at all. She treats everyone except herself with a cold heart, never considers others, and never reflects on her own mistakes. And this kind of person, you expect her to change for the better, you expect her to take responsibility for you. On the contrary, she'll just go further and further each time. Why? Because you've always tolerated it. And you really can endure it. Some men complain that their wives barely even let them touch them. There are real stories of couples where intimacy completely disappears within the first year of marriage, yet the man is still expected to pay for everything: mortgage, bills, expensive gifts, even money for the wife's parents. It's not about being traditional anymore. It's about the woman having all the power and using it to her advantage. Men say it feels like they are just human. Some women even set rules, saying things like, "You can't touch me unless I say so," or, "If you want me to have a child, you have to give me this amount of money." For many men, it's humiliating. Future husband, even if you don't have a house or a car, I'm still willing to marry you, but you must agree to 3 conditions. First, before marriage, I won't care how you play around outside, but after we're married, you need to settle down and live life with me sincerely. Second, after we have a child, I still want to go out and work, and I hope my future mother-in-law can help take care of the child together with my own mother. I know it's tough for one person to raise a child alone. Third, we must discuss things together, communicate more when problems arise. I'm not the kind of unreasonable person, and divorce should not be brought up lightly. When the family is harmonious, everything will prosper. Future son-in-law, can you agree to these 3 requests my daughter has made? Engagement itself has also become a huge financial trap. In many parts of China, the family of the bride demands a bride price, Kaylee, that can go into the hundreds of thousands of yuan. On top of that, the man is often expected to buy a house, put it in the woman's name, and sometimes also give her a car. The crazy thing is that in some cases, even after all this, the relationship still falls apart before marriage, or worse, ends in divorce shortly after. There have been cases where a man pays everything, the marriage lasts less than a year, and the woman walks away with the house and a huge chunk of his money. That's why so many men now think marriage is a financial risk, not a happy life decision. A 40-year-old woman who wants to get married either has to find an old man, a loser, or become someone's stepmother. If a 40-year-old woman wants to get married, she can basically only choose from these 3 types of men. Or she can rely on her own abilities to attract young, outstanding men by taking the warm, gentle approach. But to put it bluntly, there's still no real love in that. Of course, she can also look for a man who is equally capable and around the same age. That would be a strong match, but the problem is that most of these men have already been married. So, she has to be mentally prepared to become someone's stepmother. Otherwise, she can choose to endure a little and settle for an older man who is much older than her, take care of his daily needs, and later inherit his business and assets. In short, if a 40-year-old woman wants to gain love, she has to fight for it through her own efforts. A lot of men in China feel trapped. If they stay single, society and their family pressure them to get married. But if they do get married, they risk losing everything they worked for. It's a lose-lose situation. This is why more and more Chinese men are now looking outside of China for wives. They see women in countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Vietnam as being more traditional, family-oriented, and respectful toward their husbands. The men believe that women in these countries value the man himself, not just his bank account. Pakistani women, especially from more rural areas, are modest and loyal, with strong family values. When you're still acting all aloof, the guy might have already deleted you. Recently, a girl messaged me saying she met a guy through a blind date. His conditions were quite good, and his looks were exactly her type. But when they kept in touch, whenever the guy sent her a message, she would always reply very slowly. She was afraid that if she seemed too enthusiastic, it would make her look cheap. So she just kept waiting for the guy to take the initiative. Sometimes, she even deliberately ignored him to play hard to get. And then what happened? Yesterday morning, the guy sent her a message. She thought she'd reply in the evening when she felt it was about time. But when she opened the chat, she saw that her message had a red exclamation mark. The guy had deleted her. She was left confused, not understanding why. What I want to say is, if you expect the other person to actively chase you, first think about it. You've only met once or twice. Why should he be so crazy about you already? What's so special about you that he has no choice but to pursue you? If your conditions are about the same, or his are even better, he has plenty of other options. It's not like if he doesn't date you, he won't find someone else, right? Honestly, after hearing this story, I could only think, it's just baffling. Social media in China is now full of discussions about this trend. Some women are angry, saying Chinese men are betraying their own country's women. They argue that men just want someone easier to control and less demanding. But the men push back, saying it's not about control, it's about finding someone who actually wants to be a wife, not a boss. Many men say that when they date women in China, they feel constantly judged for their salary, their looks, their family background, even their height. It's like applying for a job where you have to prove you're worthy every single day. A Chinese guy got married in Pakistan. What's the wedding like? This time I came to Pakistan specifically to attend my good friend's wedding. The wedding lasted 3 days. The first day was the Pakistani-style wedding, the second day was the Chinese-style wedding, and the third day was the Western-style wedding. I got to experience it, drink the wedding wine, and eat for 3 days straight. What a joy. The total cost of this wedding was estimated at 5 to 6 million Pakistani rupees. Here, an average worker's annual salary is only a little over 100,000 rupees. In a traditional Pakistani wedding, to create a festive atmosphere, there's drumming, gong beating, and money scattering as a blessing. In many parts of Pakistan, the groom doesn't need to prepare a bride price. Instead, the bride's family needs to prepare items for the groom, like pots, bowls, and plates, or even give money. I heard that in some places in the south, if a woman has no money, getting married can be difficult. In Pakistan, under the witness of an imam, the newlyweds take vows, register their marriage, and also sign a notarized document at the wedding itself. Both sides state how much money they will contribute as joint marital property. If the man files for divorce later, the joint property can be split in half. If the woman files for divorce, she gets nothing. Let me just say, what kind of weird setup is that? Pakistani wedding banquets are basically big pot meals, usually curry biryani or creamy biryani. Because the groom is Chinese, they especially prepared a table of Chinese food for us Chinese friends who attended. There's also a cultural gap growing between men and women in China. Many modern Chinese women are influenced by social media and lifestyle influencers who show off luxury bags, expensive restaurants, and overseas vacations. This sets a standard that's unrealistic for the average man, especially in today's economy, where jobs are harder to find and salaries aren't growing. Men feel like they're competing with an imaginary dream life that women expect, but can't provide without going broke.